few months ago, God had shown me a picture of something, and I think this will mean something to you. You ever look at Google Maps, and there's this little pin, a pin drop, and then there's this radius, and that's what I saw. I saw in my mind, and I first saw me sitting on that, like where that pin is, in the middle of my life, in the middle of a situation, in the middle of a problem. And I saw me in that problem calling out to God, God, come here into my problem, come help me. He was out there, and I was trying to get him to come and help me in the middle of my problem. And then all of a sudden it switched, and I saw me in the middle in the presence of God. And I saw my problem out there and me in God happening to my problem. It's actually in this, in your packet, that God wants us to live a presence-centered life. We have a presence of God orientation to our life, so that our problems are not happening to us. We are happening to our problems and our situations. Do you see the difference? I know it sounds easy, but let's just say that, that's all we've been talking about this morning, is how the strength in you can carry you in the midst of situations and storms and things that happen in your life. But I really believe that God wants us to dwell in the secret place of the Most High and abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And the Amplified says, whose power no foe can withstand. You know, if you're experiencing turmoil in your life, and you go from one problem to another, to another, to another, yeah, sometimes that's life. It does happen. But you can get in the presence of God right in the midst of whatever's going on. And trust me, when you begin to build yourself up in the presence of God, that through worship, through prayer, through reading the Word, or listening to anointed teaching, anointed music. And by that I mean there are some good talented speakers out there, and there are good talented musicians out there doing gospel music. But I'm talking about when you take something that feeds your spirit and you know it. One time I was sitting in Starbucks, and I had my headphones on, and I was listening to this really anointed worship. I could not stop crying, and I was in public, So I'm talking about that kind, the kind that speaks to your spirit. If it doesn't speak to you, turn it off and find something else. Don't try to make it fit. Don't try to make it work for you. I understand a lot of you went to Beth Moore and came back saying that was incredible. I wasn't able to be there. But if her teaching speaks to you, put it on and listen to it. Get in the presence of God and get where you can have the strength to happen to your situation instead of your situation happening to you.